everybody. Welcome to the Section 325 podcast.
The second half.
With Kona.
We are here with Kona. Yeah.
Kona, our new good luck charm. You'll see him from time to time.
Yeah, we introduced him last week, and he's doing good.
He's doing good. All right, Kona.
All right,
cool. Play with your toys. Anyway, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, victory week.
Man, we dominated the NFC South.
You did. You beat everybody.
We cleaned them.
By double digits.
By double digits. And, I mean, it's the NFC South, but Sean Payton's old divisional rivalry. So
hey, Seattle finally beat the San Francisco 40-winers after 6 defeats in a row. We finally come out on top on a last-second touchdown. On the road. It was, I don't remember the last time we won in San Francisco. Even when the teams were really good, we would usually split. There was a time when Seattle was sweeping them every year.
Yeah.
But I think they got a longer run than we ever got beating us. I don't know, man. It was weird because you watch that game, and I was pessimistic. I was like, oh, they wanted more. Or, here we go, same old, same old.
Yep.
And then the game just kept going along, and I'm like, you know what? Didn't know if we were going to win or not.
Yeah.
But I was texting with some guys that are Seahawks fans. I said, hey, the tide has changed. The tide has changed because we didn't even compete in those 6 games. One of those was a playoff game. We didn't even compete. We were getting beat by double digits.
Yep.
I said, hey, the tide has changed. We are in this game. We're giving them everything they can handle, and we're controlling them on the defensive line, which, that's not been the case.
Well, and teams start to show their form here in the second half of the season. I mean, that's how you should be playing the game, because that's going to take that momentum into the playoffs and maybe win a playoff game or two.
You know, I take the Chiefs and take the Patriots out of the equation because they just somehow know how to keep winning and winning and winning. And then, I think the Bills are another one of those teams that have been winning and winning, but they haven't been able to get to the Super Bowl.
I know they have.
The Niners have.
Yeah.
They've gotten to the pinnacle. They just haven't been able to.
It's funny. The Bills has the Chiefs number in regular season, but not in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then you hear all the Chiefs fans. They're like, not worried about it. Every year the Bills have beat us. We went on to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Don't worry, Chiefs, you have it, even though the AFC is not that strong as a whole, but you have some contenders. You have the Bills. You could say the Ravens, but not after what the Steelers' defense did to them. And again, they still have to face Chargers and Broncos, and they're starting to become really good.
The Steelers are Jackson's kryptonite, dude.
Yeah, he is, or they are. So, but yeah, no, you Chiefs fans, I would still be worried because if you lose one more game and Bills went out, you don't get that number 1 seed.
Mm-mm.
So,
and if the Bills lose one more and the Chiefs lose 2 more and the Pittsburgh keeps winning, it's got to go through Steel Curtain Town. Whew.
Yeah. So,
I mean, the Steelers, they didn't score a touchdown, but they kept moving the ball and getting points.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I had the kicker on my fantasy team, so.
But when your defense is that good, he's got more points than most of your fantasy wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I just read that.
He does.
Yeah, good for you.
Because it's been like 2 or 3 games where they won just field goals. I believe. So.
Yeah, there's been a few games. They had some opportunities. That pick that Wilson threw in the end zone, that he just threw it a little far. I knew what he was trying to do. He had that number 80 who could jump out the gym. He just kind of threw it a little too far.
Yeah.
But good thought. Give your guys a chance to go get it. But you don't want to lose out on scoring opportunities either. But anyway, let's move into the show here, dude. Statement of the week. What you got?
So Thanksgiving's coming up. I don't know if you've taken a look at the slate of games on Thanksgiving.
Ouch. I read somewhere somebody said, get your family, have some food, and enjoy the day.
Yeah, maybe take a nap during that Cowboy game because they play the Giants. And sure, looking at the beginning of the year, you have Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones facing off. But no, we get Cooper Rush and Danny DeVito. Oh, no,
Hey,
not Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. Danny DeVito might be just as good. But
just good. Tommy DeVito.
Do you remember all these years growing up and then even into adulthood? It was Cowboys, good team. Gotta watch the Lions.
Now it's flip-flop.
It has flip-flop.
Yeah. But what I would have liked to see, I mean, the Bears are playing the Lions. Packers play later that evening, but they play against the Dolphins. They should have had the Packers play the Lions.
Dolphins are playing better. That's turned out to be a better game.
It is.
Than what it would have been a couple weeks ago.
And then you have your Black Friday game, Chiefs and Raiders. So again,
Raiders do play the Chiefs tough, but still not an exciting
game.
Nobody wants to watch the Cowboys. They looked pitiful last night on Monday Night Football.
Moving forward, I know the Lions and Cowboys have that slot there for I don't know how many years. Let's just get some good games. Maybe take a playoff game or a playoff team that was in the playoffs the year before and have them play, just so that it makes it look like it's a game.
I mean, I'm going to look at the Detroit and the Bears game and just say, hey, let's see how Caleb Williams does against this Detroit team that just annihilated the Jaguars. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so I don't know. So anyways, that's my statement. It seems like the last few years just hasn't been great games.
Yeah, my statement is we really got to work on a flex for everybody. For all the Sunday, all the night games. It's the only game on.
Yeah, especially late in the season.
Yeah, especially in the season.
Because you don't know at the beginning of the season how teams are going to be. But now you know, and let's start flexing out those.
Yeah, you get past week 10. Come on. Like last night's game, pathetic.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. And usually if you looked at that game earlier in the season, you'd say, okay, yeah, Dallas is the winningest team the last couple of years in the league.
Because Seattle was flexed onto a Monday night game last year, right? They played the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was flexed for Monday night.
We got flexed.
Yeah.
Maybe they do it too late in the season, but that game, I bet nobody watched. I mean, the Dallas Cowboy fans left. The roof was sinking in.
I only watched it for one reason, for Joe Mixon to get over 88 yards, because I got my parlay on that, so I won some money, even though I was playing against him in fantasy.
Yeah, you lost him in fantasy, but I'd rather have the
against
cash
Thurston. So Thurston had to mention it to me, but that's okay.
I like how one week he's texting me, I hate fantasy football, remind me not to play next year. And then this week, I love fantasy football. Guy's a goofball. Anyway, so that's my statement. Let's start flexing these games on prime time so we have something to look forward to. I was okay Sunday night and Monday not watching the game, but Sunday night was actually, I ended up turning it on late because
nice little comeback.
I kind of saw the score 27-7,
Chargers, Bengals,
3, whatever it was, and all of a sudden it's 27-27. I was like, oh man, I got to turn this game back on, so I got to see the end. That was great, but last night's game,
Speaking about the Sunday night, the Bengals, it's kind of like the reverse effect that they have, like the Chiefs do. Chiefs have all the luck winning their games, and Bengals just are not getting lucky.
It's defense, because the Chiefs have a good defense, so you can get by with mediocre quarterback play, especially Mahomes.
Because if you look at the offensive stats for all the teams, Joe Burrow is up there with most passing, or
by the way,
and Chase is up there too with his receiving and touchdowns.
I just want to point this out, okay? We talk about the Chiefs, man. They don't do any calls on them. That last play, they got intercepted. Did you see the defensive end coming around the corner? The offensive lineman just grabbed his face mask. Yep. No call. Yep. As blatant as can be. I have a view from over here, way away. I saw it on the replay, and they don't throw the flag, and they're standing right there. It's their only job. I'm like, gosh, you guys stink, or it's the fix is on.
Well,
anyway, statement of the week.
Flex the Sundays.
Flex Sundays and
Monday night games and Thanksgiving slate.
Let's clean it up. Let's clean it up. Maybe we start flex in those games.
Yeah, maybe the NFL is watching us, and then
they're watching.
They have a point.
They're watching. Tradition is great, though.
It is.
Thanksgiving is all about tradition.
Don't get rid of the Lion and Cowboy games. Just throw in like previous playoff teams in there. So
yeah, switch that up a little bit.
Switch it up a little bit. I mean, I get what they were trying to do, divisional games, but
I think I did pretty good this week.
I think you did. You actually were one touchdown away from winning the office pool.
Was I?
Yeah. Yeah, they scored that last touchdown and you were out.
No, that's the way it goes.
Oh.
The way it goes. All right, well, here we are. I picked the Packers over the Bears. It was a great pick. We tied that one. We both picked the Lions. Smart move. Clearly. Here's where we started getting a little different on the game. I took the Vikings. You took the Titans.
Yeah, Vikings got their stuff back together. So they
the Titans were playing better. It was not a bad pick. And Vikings didn't even hardly score the game before. So here we go. I took the Browns. You got the Saints. Steelers. Ravens.
I would have won, but Tucker missed 2 field goals.
Tucker's is not the same guy.
He's not.
And then, of course, Chargers and Bengals. Let's see how we 5-1. You went 500.
Yeah.
Which not horrible for you since you had a dominating lead. However, I carve into that by 2 games. You're still up 3, which is a nice lead.
Couple weeks like that again, then you're back in it.
We'll see what happens. Just got to keep it going. It's a tough league, but you're up to 40 wins already. Look at that. I'm still at 37-22. Okay, but I did carve in, so I can't be too mad. I was right here from being perfect. I just thought the Saints couldn't do 2 wins in a row, but maybe the Saints are back.
I mean, that division, you look at their rankings, they just need to win the division. They're in the playoffs.
Same with the Seahawks. We're not going to win. We're not going to get to the playoffs unless we win the division. I mean, we're just so far behind unless some of those teams start to slip a little. The 49ers do play Green Bay, but then you're looking at that, you're like, do you want the Niners to beat Green Bay so we have the wild card, or do you want the Niners to lose so they're way down in the division?
That's kind of how I feel. Chargers are 1 game ahead of us. I would like them to lose, but then they also play the same teams that we need to.
Here's the thing. We talked about this off camera, but it's like, just take care of your own business. Don't worry about other teams.
Run the table.
Run the table.
Run the table.
All right, there we go. So catching up. I'm catching up. Here we go. All right, Wolves power ranks. Probably some mix-up going on here. This is probably a tough week to pick.
Yeah, I don't think no team dropped out. So Commanders stayed in even after their loss.
They had their chances, man.
Yeah.
They had their chances. They just Philly just poured it on with the run game at the end. Barkley. Who is this guy?
I know.
Is he the guy everybody thought he was out of Penn State?
Jeez. You hear the chants after the
Thursday night game. Thank you, Giants.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. So Commanders moved down to 10. Still a really good team. But I think, gosh, I can't wait to see where you put Philly. They're really coming on. I mean, at one point, we didn't think they could score. And then all of a sudden, we'll get to them.
Yeah. Chargers, they move in.
Chargers, you let them come back, but Cincinnati's a good team. They just can't seem to get in the win column. And I think once they do, you'll start seeing them rip off a few wins in a row. But is it too late?
I don't know. I mean, they are really needing a lot of help too.
Yeah. Eagles at number 8. I think that's
they did move up though. So
okay, they did move up.
Yeah.
Did you have them at 10?
I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. They did just creep in.
I think either 10 or 9. I can't remember if Chargers were in my.
But
I don't think anyone dropped out. So maybe
now they have a commanding lead in the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas has no shot. We just want to point that out to all you Cowboy fans.
But they're not yet eliminated, so you still have hope.
Maybe this Thanksgiving. Ravens, they got to move down because of the loss to the Steelers, who now have a 1.5 game lead in the division. Mm-hmm. Packers holding steady. They're playing solid football. I don't know how they're going to get the division.
Yeah, they haven't had the dominating win quite yet.
No.
Yeah.
But they're a solid team. They move up in the rankings. Vikings hold steady, I would imagine. Oh, they did go up.
They did move. Because Ravens dropped out of 5.
Who do you think is the better team, Packers or the Vikings?
it's hard to say because Vikings does have that game against the Packers.
Both teams are going to be on the road.
Both teams, again, they're going to split their because I called it at the beginning of the year. They're going to split their games.
Because Vikings went into Lambeau and won, and now the Packers will go into.
I'm going to have the Packers go into Vikings and win.
What is the Vikings stadium called?
U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah, U.S. Bank. Good call. Good call. Steelers number 4. That's a good ranking for them. They've been climbing up steadily this whole season. They weren't even in it.
Not at the beginning.
No, not until Russell Wilson stepped in. You jumped him in there. Wilson, I mean, it's exciting. I can't help it. I hate the Steelers because after the 05 Super Bowl, what happened, I have not cheered for them from a day until Wilson started. I guess it just got to the point where I was so mad at Wilson for wanting to be gone. And then we were laughing at him struggling in Denver. And then he went to the Steelers, and I was like, listen, it's going to go one of two ways. And I predicted correctly.
Mm-hmm. So far.
I thought there's no way this guy's going to throw in the towel and say, I'm the guy, even though he had good numbers in Denver. But, I knew he was going to rise to the occasion because of their coach. I think if there's a coach.
I think that is the best coach-quarterback relationship.
He is. Now. He's an amazing coach, dude. You know that they have the longest streak of non-losing seasons.
Yeah.
Whew.
He's never had a losing season.
Great coach. Yeah. All right. And then shout out to Cody Spencer, who went to the Steelers game.
That's right.
And proposed to his lady, and she said yes, amazingly. But they're getting married.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Good luck to you guys. I love it.
Yeah. Good luck. That was great.
That was awesome. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, and the Chefs, they moved down after their first loss in 15 tries, and this season especially.
They moved down one. I can't move them down too far. I almost didn't want to move them, but Bills are playing like they should be, and if they continue, they might be the team to beat in the playoffs.
They are definitely the team in the right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they've got the edge over the Steelers just because of I don't think their quarterback is having to manage the game with a great defense. He is the great part of the team, and the defense is managing a good game to complement the offense.
Yep.
So, yeah, the Bills definitely team to beat. Number 1, the Lions. I mean, yeah, the Jaguars don't have a lot of wins, but they've been in every game. They've played mostly competitive football. No one expected them to get pounded like that.
No.
The Lions are for real, you guys. For real. I mean, think back to the history of football and teams that have these kinds of seasons. And we saw it against the Texans, that comeback in the second half, right? That's what good teams do. They don't have bad games. They might have bad plays here and there, but they overcame a rough start in that Texans game, and it showed they got right back on track to take it to the Jaguars. They took out all the frustrations on them, and boy, look out. So let's go back real quick. So there's the Wolves power ranks from 10 to 1.
Tell us what you think.
Tell us.
We gotta hear from you.
Are you scared to tell us your top 10?
So, yeah, let us know if we should have someone in the top 10, or should it be moved around and the top 5 be different? So, did I put the Chiefs down too far?
The Chefs. Divisional review. Here we go. We get to cover
the best for last.
The best for last. Yeah, Here we go. NFC West, AFC West. Here we go. We'll start with the West since they're listed first. Cardinals. I think about that guy from the NFL Network, can't remember his name, who predicted the Cardinals to win the division.
Peter
Here
Schrager.
They are. Yeah, okay.
Peter Schrager.
Yep. He's got their number 1 in the division right now.
Yeah,
and then you got this deadlock tie of 5-5-5-5-5-5. Now, Seahawks have the edge over the Niners. The Rams have the edge over the Seahawks currently. Seahawks and the Cardinals go head-to-head this week, so we'll talk about that later as we get in and we make our picks for this division. What do you see? Who's gonna be the cream of the crop in this division? Who's gonna rise to the top?
It's funny. You listen to these analysis guys on TV, and when they mention the Cardinals at the beginning of the season, you're like, they don't know what they're talking about. And then here they are leading the division. I think that it will come down to the last game of the year. I don't know who they play the last game.
Seattle plays the Rams last game of the year.
So then they would play the Niners.
And I think the Cardinals and the Niners play.
So who knows? I mean, it might come down to that. Seahawks could be on the edge. It might come to a scenario where if the Cardinals lose and Seahawks win, they're in, or if Cardinals win, they're in. Yeah, I mean, right now I give credit to the Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as far as they're the surprising team. Like they went from last to first.
Right now, currently.
Right now, yeah.
Like I said, Seattle plays Cardinals, Packers, Cardinals. I think is how it goes.
Okay,
but I could be wrong. But I don't remember the sandwich game. But they definitely Cardinals the next 2 out of the next 3 weeks. At home this week.
And then for the AFC West, I mean Broncos. They play each of those teams one more time. They play the Chiefs at the end of the year. That might come down to a just playoff position. Because, like I said, if Bills win out and Chiefs lose that last game, then they don't get the number 1 seed.
You guys have a bye this week?
We have a bye Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep.
Okay. So we play the Raiders this weekend, and then we have a bye.
Yeah, at home or in Vegas?
In Vegas.
Okay.
And then after our bye, we play the Bengals and Browns, Colts, Chargers, and Chiefs.
When do the Chargers and Chiefs play this week?
Or
next?
Next, they play.
Because that's going to be.
Determining.
That will be in Kansas City, if I believe.
Play the 8th of December.
That's in Kansas City?
It's in Kansas City.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out what the Chargers are really made of.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at Chiefs' schedule, it's pretty easy for them.
So where do the Broncos sit right now? They're still in the playoffs.
They're 7th seed.
They're the last seed. Okay.
Yep. Chargers are 6. Chiefs are obviously number 1 right now. So we need every game possible. Chiefs has a pretty easy slate. They play the Panthers this week. Then the Raiders, Chargers, Browns, Texans, Steelers on Christmas.
Woo.
On Netflix. So hopefully it's not buffering.
Netflix. Hopefully they figure that out.
And then Broncos at the end of the year.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we started this year. We both predicted the Niners to win the division.
Yep.
And then in this division, I think we both picked the Chiefs. However, you did say the Broncos were going to be in the playoffs.
Yep. I also said the Seahawks would be in the playoffs.
You did. And I think the only way they're going to get to playoffs is if they win this division.
Yeah.
And the Niners right now are on the outside looking in, which is amazing. They've been decimated with injuries.
They could win both games against the Cardinals and then...
Yeah, Seattle could. I don't know how the Niners' schedule plays out the rest of the way, but here, let's hang on and find out what's going to happen. But I think the Chiefs and the Chargers and the Broncos, obviously, I don't think anything's going to really change there.
I think the Chiefs will have the division. Like they would really have to fall off to for that to happen.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I can see maybe Chargers losing 1 game, and then when they play the Broncos, that might be determine the next spot.
You remember last year the Eagles? Were they 10-1 or something? Right?
They were 11-1.
11-1 and then the wheels just fell off.
Yeah, they fell to like 11.
It can happen.
At one point.
It could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the Chiefs and the Eagles are the same type of team. But anyway, our teams are still in it. It's exciting. I think if we'd have lost that game, we're sitting at 4-6.
You would have yelled bench Gino, but instead he
wins
in the
he wins, score. And now maybe this elevates him even more. It's like, okay, 1 minute you're like Gino, and the next you're like G no. So let's see what happens. And here we go with the Week 12 picks from the NFC AFC West. Okay. Chiefs at the Panthers. This one should be pretty easy.
Yeah, it would be fun for the Panthers to win. I mean, we'll do everyone a favor. But yeah, I don't know. Chiefs, they took a hard loss. Not too heartbreaking, but their undefeated season just came crashing to a halt, and they'll bounce back against the Panthers.
Yes, I got the
Sadly,
Chiefs as well.
I got the Chiefs. Yeah.
All right, Broncos at the Raiders in Las
In
Vegas.
Vegas, I'm Broncos all the way. Raiders, they're just been falling apart. Ever since firing the coach last year and Devontae Adams leaving this year, benching Minshew, and then he's starting again. Like they're just up and down.
You think Devontae wished he just would have stayed?
He did have a little bit of a better game, but Jets still lost.
Yeah, by 1 point. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I got the Broncos in that one.
I got the Broncos, of
Niners going into Green Bay. Now, this is an interesting game. I think, oh gosh, I don't know how to pick this game.
Packers have been playing close games. It's been coming down to field goals, made field goals, blocked field goals. I can see Niners coming in and beating the Packers.
I could too.
I'm going to go with the Niners on this. I know my friends and my wife, they're Packer fans, and I mean, I'm still cheering for Packers, but as far as I want to keep my numbers on my picks up, I'll go with Niners.
I guess we're going to find out what kind of fight we have in the Niners. They've been a dominant team over the last couple years. But, when the games are close and you don't know how to pick, I always go with the home team, so I'm going to take the Packers.
And the Packers have been kicking those field goals and blocking them to win the game, so it might be deja vu all over again.
Let's see what happens. You got the Niners, I got the Packers.
I got the Niners, yeah.
Okay. Cardinals at the Hawks. This is easy for me. I'm taking my Seahawks right away. We're at home. Something to play for. It's our house. Let's go take care of business.
And I'm going with the Cardinals.
Woo!
Yeah, I think they have to make a statement of them being in first place.
They do.
So I think with that, Hawks have lost at home before, so Cardinals know it could happen. So I'll go with Cardinals.
Yeah, 1-4 at home this year.
Yeah.
So okay.
What bird is gonna win?
What bird's gonna win? Rams at the Eagles. This game's interesting as well. What Rams team's going to show up is what I say.
Yeah. Because you looked at it a couple weeks ago where I think that was a Thursday night game. Talks about Cooper Kupp being traded, and if they would have lost that game to the Vikings, that's what it was, that they probably would have had a sell.
They would have just sell everybody off.
Yeah.
Trade them.
And their season would have been done. But yeah, they won a few, and now they're sitting – one game behind in first place, so every game counts. But I think Eagles, I think they're better at this point than they were last year, where they had that slump of games where they lost. I think they pull it through. Barkley has just proven that he is the back that they've been missing. So, yeah, I'll pick Eagles.
I got the Eagles as well.
Yeah.
I think they take care of business. And it just... not because it's not going to be a competitive game, but just because the Eagles have been playing so well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Rams are kind of up and down. So, which, they have a 5-5 record. So,
yeah.
Okay, Monday Night Football. Ravens at the Bolts. A great game.
Yeah.
This is hard to pick.
This is hard for me to pick because, well, I mean, it's
your
easy.
Heart wants to root for the Ravens.
Yeah, I want to root for the Ravens because, but then I don't want the Chargers to win. I think Ravens, they fought hard in that Steeler game, and they're going to bounce back. They know that they need to finish these games. And if they know that Chargers can let the Bengals come back and tie them up and almost win the game, then they're going to do it themselves. So I'll go with Ravens.
Ravens. All right, I'll take the Chargers.
Okay.
They're the home team, and it's I think it's a close game. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I'm taking the Ravens easily in this one. But right now, maybe teams are kind of seeing some ways to slow him down. You got the Browns that beat him. Now the Steelers and the Chargers have a good defense.
They do. I mean,
so
yeah.
Let's go. I'll take the Chargers. So we got 3 different games there picked. All right.
I'll actually go back. Just let us know what you guys think of the NFC and AFC West games, and let's see if you can get 6 in a row and outdo us. No, right here. Here we go.
Remember the last time these two were next to each other?
Yeah, earlier this season and two seasons ago.
Yeah. And then the Super Bowl is what
I know that. I was trying to not to bring that up.
Anyway, hey, great. It's been a crazy season so far, and nothing better than the NFL, man. Nothing better. The games have been super entertaining for the most part. I know some of the night games we need to start working on that flex, but
yeah, I mean, the afternoon, morning games have been great to watch as well. I mean, this last weekend was great to watch.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Steelers and Ravens, Bills and Chiefs. Our teams won, so yeah, it's fun to watch. I love football.
It was really exciting to watch with my now 4-year-old little buddy. He turned 4, day before your birthday, and we're sitting there watching, and part of him understood what was going on, but part of him, he just wanted to yell and scream with me. And we went and ran out in the street. It was amazing. It was awesome because I remember those moments as a little kid watching him with my stepdad, right? My dad.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be this little guy's stepdad at some point when we get married. And boy, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's fun because, my daughters just never got into football. They just couldn't do it. It's fine. They didn't want to. But this little guy, he'll be like, "Hey, Sean, who's playing tonight? Which team do you think's going to win?" And I'll tell him, and he'll pick the opposite so we're going. But when the Seahawks game's on, he's cheering on the Hawks. Nice. So it's pretty awesome. So,
all right.
Well, that's our show for today. Yep. Stay tuned. Buckle up. It's coming down to the wire. And what you said earlier is we're kind of seeing how teams are who they're going to be right now and how they're going to play the rest of the season.
Yeah. Next week we'll start showing the playoff picture, and we can take an idea of who's going to make it and who's not. And also we'll review our playoff picks from earlier in the season. And so that way we can see where we're at on our picks.
Yeah. And then
if we have any regrets on choosing some teams or not.
Well, I think I'm already regretting the Cowboys. I know that.
I think I had them too. So.
Oh gosh! Anyway,
actually, you had them winning the division.
I think I did.
Yeah, I just had them in the wild card. So.
Oh, anyway. Well, that's our show for today. We're section 325.
We're out of games.